We wanted to embody the spirit of, first of all, the rural atmosphere, second of all, underground. Juke joints weren't licensed venues. This is where the cotton field workers gathered. Juke joints created blues music, or the people created blues music that was played in the juke joints. I'm a lover of blues music. It moves my soul like no other form of music. It is traditional North American music created here in North America. And, well, if you ask me, blues are the roots of all music. I can't say it well, but other people have said it well, and I think it speaks again to a very large truth. Blues are the true expression of our feelings, our hopes, our inspirations. It's expressed in word and song. It speaks to the realities of life. I'm going to say something that Stu often said. You know, if you want the truth about what's going on in the times, these times, or in the times gone by, study the music. It's the artists and musicians that lend you the true feeling of what people are experiencing at that time. Don't listen to the politicians. Don't listen to the winners of the war. Listen to the music, because it will tell you how the people feel. One of the most important things that happens here, in my opinion, is the magic. You have a fine act playing, you have a fine act opening up for them. The musicians, they might not know each other, may never have played with each other, but they have enough respect for each other to jam a little bit afterwards. In those jams, I have found myself lifted and transported someplace else because of the great vibe that's happening between the musicians and between the musicians and the audience. To me, this is beauty. I believe I mentioned earlier, and I'll say it again, blues touches my soul in a way that no other music does. I don't know why, but that's what it is for me. Up until now, it's just been a place for us to have a party with our friends and enjoy some great music. Our friends, Stu, myself, Eric, Herb, we're of an age group. And the largest number of people who attend the Juke Joint are our friends, and guess what? They're in our age group. Are we serving this demographic only? No, but it came about naturally. With the pandemic that we've just come through in the last 18, 19 months, the number of places that a musician, a performing musician, may have an opportunity to play in has been radically reduced, because many restaurants that hosted these type of acts are not in business, may not be able to offer the same menu, including music, if they've had to change or shift as a result of the pandemic. Because this is a private venue, we don't serve alcohol. You don't have to be 18 to come here because we don't serve alcohol. We're not subject to fire and police inspections because it is a private venue. Nonetheless, we try to maintain very high standards for safety of our patrons and people here. We have an emergency plan, God forbid there's ever a medical emergency, which is more likely with our age group than any other type of emergency. Geez, we even have a plan if we get busted for amplified music being too loud for the neighbors. We're very fortunate that we've got good support from the people who come to the joint. We're very lucky to have increasing support from the music community, where artists of a higher caliber or star level are now desirous of playing the juke joint. Is that because there's less venues for them to play in? Possibly. Is it because we can provide audience? That's a very, very important aspect of performing. Is it because we pay well? We endeavor to pay well. We believe, and always have believed, that artists should be paid. They've suffered greatly throughout the pandemic. When Stu and I were putting on festivals, and most notably Stratford Blues and Rib Festival, Our goal was to make sure that the artists received a decent wage for the day that they were playing for us. And something else that I learned from Stu, which works really, really well, under promise, over deliver. Always tip up. You know, if your tip jar brought in more money than it goes to the artists. Tip them up. Most enjoyable for my company, the crowd, the people who frequent the Juke Joint, is when an artist gives of themselves. And I can think of one huge example, which would be Tony D from Toronto, from the band Monkey Junk. He did a show here last September 2019, just before we went into pandemic mode the following spring. He stayed over that evening, and he stayed up until 5 a.m. chatting. There were people that did not leave, would not leave, because he was so interesting. He's traveled the world with his music and his band, and he's been at it for 30 or 40 years. Renowned and well-recognized musician. The stories he relates, the people he knows, the situation that he's been in, and he's a great raconteur. This thrilled my friends, Stu, everybody that was here, that he stayed up and spoke with people that long in the kitchen and carried on. It's still spoken about today.